Congratulations, you've come through our ideal outcome process, and now you're getting ready to meet some buyers. And so this is an exciting time, but we thought it'd be helpful to put together a little video that shared some of the things that we think you might be prepared to ask the buyers to help you determine if it's a good fit. Naturally, use your own decision-making and questions that you feel relevant, but we think this is a good template that should help you prepare for the upcoming meetings. Enjoy. So introductory meetings sort of serve as a gating call for both you and the buyer. You're going into the meeting and both parties are pretty well prepared on the high level details of each other's business. So it's not as you're going in cold. It's important to remember that this is a two-way street. Sometimes sellers mistakenly think that it's going to be all about the buyer asking them most of the questions, kind of vetting them as a potential partner. And while that could be true, don't forget it's also your opportunity to interview the buyer. This is a meeting wherein you can lay any question on the table. Essentially, it's your chance to see if you click with their personality, do you align with their vision. The only thing I would say that the conversation really shouldn't drift into is questions about valuation. And it's not because they don't want to talk about it, it's because primarily they haven't gotten your full financials yet, so they're probably not prepared. But I would say this meeting is really for you to focus on the perceived cultural alignment. As you know, we're big on the culture and giving you very specific things to latch on to. So try to focus on these primary areas. The first one that I would really want you to dive into is really on autonomy. So here you could ask the buyer, how would you describe your culture? And what we're looking for, is it entrepreneurial? How collaborative? Are they going to be seeking input from me? Or are they going to just pretty much ask me to do things their way? Is there a unified process that they're asking you to adhere to? That sort of thing. Another area would be, how much say do you have in what's recommended to your clients? Are they going to want to centralize a lot of that stuff, or do they pretty much leave the client-facing recommendations to you locally? Things like, are you going to have control over your calendar? Do you need to ask time off? Do you need to ask permission to work remotely? All these sorts of things are important. Do you still have power over hiring and firing decisions? That's an important aspect of culture here. Will you have insight into your local P&L? Those sort of things will all go into helping you really determine how much autonomy you will have. The next area would really be to focus on the client experience, which is essentially really the investment platform and their way of engaging clients, particularly on the planning aspects of things. So regarding investment management, what is required of me if I'm going to join your firm? Am I going to be able to maintain my own strategies, or are you going to ask me to adopt your models in your portfolio? What's the glide path and timing for those sorts of things? Is there a new way of interacting with clients that they're going to be asking you to adopt, or do you pretty much just keep doing things the way you are at your local office today? From an operation perspective, are you going to be allowed to operate the way you currently do, or are they going to ask you to change anything like accounting-wise, basic stuff like that? The next area would be on marketing and growth. Are there any growth requirements that they're going to impose or ask you to achieve? If they have a marketing department, are they going to be enabling you to use those marketing offerings kind of a la carte? Are they going to ask you to adopt any specific organic growth niches or marketing efforts in your local market? What types of organic growth do they possess? Are they in the custodial referral programs? Do they have any kind of social media marketing? All these types of things that you want to know about their ability to help you grow. How are you going to help me grow? The next area that I would probably want you to understand is regarding your staff. It's a big concern for your staff, I can tell you that. So they're going to want to know, do you still manage the team? How do you help? How do you help us at all define local roles and responsibilities? Do you have a practice management group that comes alongside us? Are there career expansion opportunities, for the younger people at your firm? How does my team get up to speed on our systems? For example, when you transition, do they have a transition support team that comes alongside them to help train them on the new technology or process that they're asked to implement? How are they trained? These sorts of things. Do you have any G2 programs that help facilitate career pathing for my younger people? Those are all really important aspects of the staffing. From the future, I would ask them to describe what's the firm's 5-year plan. What would be, in their mind, their best outcome that helps really talk about what they're looking to do strategically, whether it's maybe take on a new private equity partner, an IPO, whether they're a strategic sale. You want to tease those things out. What's the pathway to liquidity if I am a shareholder? If I decide to take equity in the business, how do you plan on liquefying the shares that we have? So, those are some really key areas. I'm sure there's others that you might want to ask, but if you really hit those points, I think you'll get a lot out of the intro meeting. After the meeting, we want you to take time and reflect on the responses and make sure you fully understand the answers they've given you. If you don't, feel free to send those over to us, and we'll make sure we either clarify it internally or we'll get a clarification response from the buyer. We're also going to provide you with a buyer introductory form that kind of has these points laid out, and we'd love for you to fill that out, capture any thoughts that you have, and send us that feedback. But we're super excited for you as you go meet some of these potential partners of yours, and certainly I think you're going to get a lot out of the meetings we're getting ready to schedule. I'm Alan Darby, CEO of Alaris Acquisitions. I'm looking forward to meeting you soon.